Welcome into the Week 4 recap. Before we get into the recap, we've got a brand new chart on the Scrollable recap. This one took a little while to make, but it's pretty darn cool. It's called the Chaos Rating. So, in extremely simple terms, it's essentially how chaotic are your players scoring relative to their projection at the start of the week. So how much does that differ compared to all the other teams? In extremely technical terms, it is the standard deviation of your players' difference from their projection to their actual score compared to the other players at that position in that week. So if it's like a really, really high scoring week and like all of the quarterbacks are scoring more than their projection, that doesn't account. Like that won't make your chaos higher because your quarterback outscored his projection, because every quarterback outscored their projection essentially in that example week. So if the quarterbacks are all outscoring their projection, then it accounts for the fact that in that week the chaos overall was higher, so it balances each week and weights it evenly, and adds all of those standard deviations together as a magnitude. So it would normally cancel it out to where you'd have a positive or negative, but absolute value. So on all the way on the right there, you can see your actual chaos rating, which is how many standard deviations away have your players scored relative to their projection, relative to that position in that week. All summed together, all added together. The higher the score, the more chaotic. The lower the score, the calmer. The more closely related to their projections your players are if you're on the bottom. So you kind of want to be on the bottom if you have a better team. But there's also positive and negative standard deviations. So if your player scores way more than their projection, then that's positive. If your player scores way less than their projection, then that's negative. And that's all accounted for the same in the chaos rating. So if it's a middle-of-the-road week and most players on average are scoring their projection and your player scores 4 points below their projection, that'd be the same hit to the chaos rating that it would take if your player scored 4 points above his projection. But that is visualized in the positive-negative column. So if you have a much higher green bar there, that means your players are scoring. Most of your chaos is coming from players scoring more than their projection. So, like in this example, for my team in Dynasty, 63.2% of my chaos rating of 31.3 is coming from my players scoring less than what they should have. And then that positive-negative is also reflected in the chart. So you'll have a line on how that's going per week and your rank per week. So as you can see, like Stu was rank 1 in cumulative chaos in week 1 and in week 2, and then he dropped to rank 2 in week 3 and stayed at rank 2 in week 4. His line is pink there. You can see that it's pink. And above his line is the area of positive chaos, so the players that are scoring more than their projection. And below his line is the area of negative chaos, where the players are scoring less than their projection. So what you really want is to be either really high or really low and have that green area above your line be the biggest it can possibly be, with the red area being the smallest it can possibly be. So yeah, it's essentially just measuring how chaotic your team scores and how much you can rely on your team's projections to give you a good sense of what you're going to score in a week. So with that, we will move right into the recap. There were no games this week, as it was a 50-50 week. So for redraft, receiving wins in the 50-50 week are Leftist Tears, Gumpy Glizzies, Nico's League, the Stoners, and Steel Curtain. And receiving losses in the 50-50 week are, no pun intended, the Red Carpets, Bill's Mafia, Scoob the Delinquent, and Washington Rednecks. Our Week 5 redraft power rankings, starting at the bottom at number 10, not moving, Bill's Mafia. At number 9, moving down 1 spot, Scoob the Delinquent. At number 8, moving up 1 spot, Steel Curtain. At number 7, staying put, Washington Rednecks. At number 6, not moving, the Stoners. At number 5, not moving, no pun intended. At number 4, staying put, the Red Carpets. At number 3, not moving, Nico's League. At number 2, moving down 1 spot, Gumpy Glizzies. And moving up 1 spot into the number 1 spot is Leftist Tears. Our Week 5 redraft game of the week is the Red Carpets 2-2 versus Gumpy Glizzies 4-0. With Lamar Jackson doubtful, we'll see if Gumpy Glizzies can make a run over the Red Carpets with Josh Allen and Trevor Lawrence to back them up. Moving into Dynasty, again, 50-50 week, so no matchups to speak of. But receiving wins in the 50-50 week are Cumber Dynasty, I Am They, Stratton Oakmont Inc., Sneezy Raccoon 74, and, let's hear it, we have a historical achievement this week as Touchdown My Pants records their first win in franchise history in the 50-50 week. Congrats, Matt. Receiving losses in the 50-50 week are Prestige Worldwide, the Scoob Empire, Bales on Your Chin, Gump Dynasty, and Nico's Dream Team. Our Week 5 Dynasty Power Rankings, starting at the bottom, moving down 1 spot, Bales on Your Chin. At number 9, moving down 1 spot, Prestige Worldwide. At number 8, moving up 2 spots, Touchdown My Pants. At number 7, moving down 1 spot, the Scoob Empire. At number 6, moving up 1 spot, I Am They. At number 5, staying put, Sneezy Raccoon 74. At number 4, not moving, Stratton Oakmont Inc. At number 3, staying put, Nico's Dream Team. At number 2, not moving, Gump Dynasty. And remaining in the number 1 spot is Cumber Dynasty. Our Week 5 Dynasty Game of the Week is Nico's Dream Team 3-1 versus Sneezy Raccoon 74 2-2. With Lamar Jackson doubtful and DeAndre Swift on bye, we'll see if Nico's Dream Team can pull off a upset victory over Sneezy Raccoon 74 with Pat Mahomes and newly upgraded Jackson Dart at quarterback. Alright, that'll do it for the Week 4 recap. Excited to see everybody in Week 5.